I'm actually really excited to talk to you about this one because it has been very impactful for me. I already talked to you about the Deerview farm and how we were able to use cameras to have a better idea of what caused that outbreak. And the cameras aren't perfect. Cameras, like any other technology, sometimes they're down, sometimes they don't see everything exactly like what we want, but any amount of additional auditing has value. Just because the camera doesn't work 100% of the time or have the exact right angle for everything you want to see doesn't mean that they aren't increasing the value of our biosecurity audits. And the reality is, in the United States, for a sow farm that I am the veterinarian for, I go once every 4 weeks. That's 13 days a year. That's it. That's all I'm there. And when a producer that doesn't have cameras calls me and says, "How did we get this PRRS?" When I was young, I would feel the need to give an answer. My answer is, I don't know. I wasn't there. How am I supposed to know? I mean, I'm not a magician. I can't make this stuff up. But with the cameras, I can quickly evaluate what's going on. And so I'll share with you what I think is the value proposition and how I feel like they've been effective to use. The biggest value is not just in doing the PRRS outbreak investigation, but it's on-the-spot coaching. On-the-spot coaching means you talk to somebody within 24 hours of the mistake that they made. There's no, I don't think I did that, or I can't remember, or you don't argue about what happened. We remember what we did, for the most part, within the last 24 hours. We remember the problem we had loading the pigs. We remember the emergency maintenance. We know all the details. And if we know the details, we can come up with a plan to correct it. So that ability to audit 100% of the activities at the clean and dirty line, we'll talk about where the cameras go, but you don't need 100 cameras. I shouldn't say that. If your farm is designed well, you don't need 100 cameras. We need to see the places things are coming in and out of the farm. That's it. The pigs coming in, the mortality's going out, the people and the supplies coming in. That's what we need to look at. And we can look at 100% of those activities if we have cameras in the right spot. I'm at the farm 13 days a year. I will look at biosecurity when I'm there. For the other 352 days or whatever it is, the cameras are there. They are helping. They're my eyes and my ears when I'm not there. And if you watch recorded video, I can watch it at 3 or 4x speed. The 1 hour loadout event, when I'm on farm, one of the 13 days, takes me an hour to watch it. When I'm sitting in my office, it takes me 15 minutes because I'm not looking for tiny details. I'm looking to see if the truck driver stepped in the farm or if the farm worker stepped onto the truck. So I can watch it fast in order to see if we're doing the right things. So I'm much more efficient with my biosecurity auditing. With the outbreak investigations, like I said with Deerview Farms, PRRS, PED, when we have big clinical signs, we can backtrack that. Each pathogen's a little different, but we can backtrack to the likely 7 to 14 days that virus came into the farm. We can have a pretty good idea of exactly when we need to audit. So we don't need to look everywhere. We do need some video storage. And I'll talk about the system we use that allows 30 days of video storage. The cameras are recording all the time. Every day, the 31st day ago, that video disappears unless we've saved it. And the new day is replacing it. Okay? And I don't really have to go through all the questions. Nikolai, I think you mentioned this in the roundtable, right? You ask the workers, how do you do it? How do you do it? The answer is always the SOP. We do it this way all the time on this farm. And the farm generally knows who it was. It was the coal truck driver. It was the feed delivery person, right? They always screw it up. And if they're telling me that, I really don't know what to believe, right? But I don't need to ask all those questions. I can watch. Not to say I shouldn't interact. This should complement the normal investigation process, but I can watch the loadout. If they think the coal truck driver's the problem, I can investigate that. I don't need it to be a mystery. So the system that I am most familiar with is called Verkada, okay? I found Verkada by searching for it on Google. I don't know anything about camera systems, but I know that we've installed this one at a lot of farms, and it works pretty well. I have nothing to do with Verkada. I don't have any Verkada stuff to sell you. I wish I did. But it's been a good program for me. That's all I can suggest, and I'll show you how we use it. Verkada is a system of cameras and the storage and really the cloud video access. That's the biggest thing Verkada brings you, is the ability to remotely access it. It'll give you different options for the storage. You pay more for longer storage, but 30 days is one of the options, and from my perspective, you don't need anything longer than 30 days. You can store videos, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. You can store videos and keep them for forever with the archiving capability, but there's always 30 days there. Verkada's dashboard is what's really nice. It's expensive to program websites and mobile apps. Verkada does it for all its users. So I can look at the cameras on my phone, I can look at them on my computer, I can pull them up anywhere in the world. I can pull them up and we can look at them right now. We met with the Vietnamese team yesterday. I pulled up the cameras and we looked at exactly what's going on in the United States at those farms right now. You can do it anywhere in the world as long as you have decent internet. And the farm needs decent internet too. That's probably the biggest barrier. The farm needs decent internet to get the video into the cloud so that you can access it. But if you've got good internet, you can remote access that data anywhere in the world. This is what the dashboard looks like. So this is one of the bore studs at Carthage. The cameras are motion sensor. They are always running. They don't just turn on when there's motion, but I click on the individual camera, each individual one, and it will show me clips of motion. So I don't need to search all 24 hours for when they loaded the pigs or when the workers came to the farm. It instantly shows me the clips. And I can just hover over the clip and it plays the 25 seconds. I can hover over this clip, it plays the 53 seconds. I hover over this clip, it plays the 49 seconds, okay? So I can very quickly navigate through all the activity in front of the cameras. And because these cameras are only at the clean and dirty lines, only at the place things come in and out, I'm not watching 8 hours of activity on those cameras every day. The loadout area, there may be no activity in a day on it. The employee entry, they come in about an hour period, right? So I don't need to look at this for hours and hours and hours to see 100% of what's going on at the farm. I mentioned the archive capability. So we don't have veterinarians that monitor this at Carthage. It would be very expensive to pay veterinarians to watch this all the time. We have trained some people from a third-party company, and they watch the cameras for us, okay? It's not perfect. They're not biosecurity experts like a veterinarian, but I'm not looking for I'm not looking for tiny mistakes. I'm looking for big things that have been wrong. If I can catch those, I'm making a big difference. Those folks, they don't interact with the farm. They are going to create an archive of anything they see that looks unusual. We've got a worker here who's got his bare feet on the wrong side of the bench, okay? We got a worker here that should be wearing Tyvek clothes over their normal clothes, a Tyvek coverall, to load out the mortalities. They see something that's not right, they archive the clip, put it in the archives, and then they email it to the person in charge of that farm. They email it to the vet or the production person, whoever is accountable for the biosecurity on that farm. And that individual is responsible for follow-up. Follow-up could be, hey, if we go back one right here, let's see if that's right. Remember the video of the guy stepping on the bench, right? He made a mistake. That's probably just a video clip that gets emailed to the farm manager. The farm manager is going to know exactly who that person is. They can walk exactly to him, show him on the computer in the office, hey, look, this is not how we're supposed to use the bench. Here's a better way to use the bench. We don't need to send up flares. We don't need to send a veterinarian to the farm to fix that problem. If we have a major gap, the truck driver who came in the farm, well, that's a bigger deal, right? But it's whoever gets the email with the archive clips, they're the ones that are responsible for the follow-up. I'll show you some common failures that I have found. I showed you the person with their bare feet or their socks on the wrong side of the bench, and that's a really, really common one. People know they're supposed to take their shoes off on one side of the bench, but they take their shoes off, they walk with their bare feet on the dirty side of the bench, and then they step over the bench, okay? That's a really common one. And it tells me they don't understand the clean, dirty line concept. They know they're supposed to take the shoes off. They're not trying to break the rules. They're doing what they think they're supposed to. They're not lazy. They're not trying to get out of work. They just don't understand the concepts. Not controlling the pig movements at the clean and dirty line. I'm going to start this video down here because that doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? You don't intuitively know what I'm talking about yet, but I'm going to show you, and that's the power of video. Rather than me trying to explain what I'm talking about, I'll show you as this video starts to load. There's going to be pigs that come onto this truck here in just a second. We'll look at it. Employees in the loadout area with the wrong clothes and boots. He's supposed to be wearing Tyvek in that picture. He did wear Tyvek when he loaded these pigs, but it was really hot, and before he power washed the room, he took the Tyvek suit off, okay? All right, so pigs not controlled at the clean, dirty line. Look what just happened. How often does that happen when you load wean pigs? There's going to be 1,600 pigs go on this trailer. What are the odds that all 1,600 of them get on there and none of them step the wrong way across the clean, dirty line? The pigs are just as big of a risk as the people, right? You know what I'm talking about now, don't you? That video clip is powerful because I can show the workers and the truck driver, you need to use your sort board. You need to use your sort board to block the pigs from coming on the trailer until we have the whole group there. Then remove your sort board and we push the pigs across as a group. That's the best way to not have them go back and forth. If they're able to run back and forth, there's always going to be a few leader pigs who are going to do it, and they'll turn around and come back. Outbreak investigations, we've talked about that quite a bit. The ability to dig into this, to look at all the loadouts, to look at all the supply entries on the dates of concern. It's really powerful, and it's huge for making your decision on filtration. Remember the Deerview farm. Without the video, maybe the owners would say, I think the employees just drug it in. 4 kilometers, that's a long way for PRRS to fly through the air. I bet we didn't load the pigs right. Well, I have evidence now that I can show them that supports that it was aerosol transmission. With more confidence, they can make an expensive decision to filter the farm. I would ask you to think about your next farm visit, okay? Imagine if you had metrics, the pass-fail percentage at each clean, dirty line for the last month. You know exactly, are we getting better or are we getting worse? Specific coaching opportunities, benchmarking versus other farms. If farms say, we can't load the pigs right, it's impossible, it's too hard. You can show them, no, other farms are getting this done. Other farms with your same design, on your same team, they're able to get it done. Your outbreak investigations, no need for open-ended questions and speculation and hypotheses. The last thing I want to share with you is I know a lot of you have cameras at your farms already. Are you using them? Is anybody watching them? We talked about this with the Vietnamese team yesterday. A camera that nobody's watching is worse than no camera because the employees see the camera. They think you're watching. And if they do something wrong and they don't get any feedback, they're going to keep doing it. They think it doesn't matter. So if you have cameras at your farm, you have to use them. You have to find a way to use that information. It's really powerful, and I hope it's just as valuable for you as it's been for me. With that, Oliver, round 2.